Give us the 2 minutes version of your journey. You started your career at IIT Delhi, and now you have been build fast with AI. Enlighten us a little bit about your this
Right.
wholesome journey.
So I did my bachelor's and master's from IIT Delhi. I graduated in 2019. After my graduation, I went on to work for a couple of multinational banks in AI, ML, and data science space. So I worked there for 3.5 years. But while I was at IIT Delhi, I used to run an NGO in education sector. So I was always interested in education. And when in November 2022, when ChatGPT got released, I thought something amazing is going to happen. And within 1 month, I quit my job, and I thought I'll just keep exploring AI. And 3 years ago, that is how Build Fast with AI started. So that is how we started there.
Okay, so this has happened with me also, because a lot of time when a young entrepreneur, when they start their career, people really misunderstand about their work, right? I mean, they really are confused, like what the guy is doing. Like, is he an entrepreneur? He's building a product, or he's focusing on like building an ecosystem. And looking at you, you also teach,
Right.
and you also are now you're also building a company, right? People, a lot of people out there, they don't know what you really do.
Right.
Okay, so if you can just deep dive a bit into what you have been building, like it's like, are you building only a product, or you are creating courses, or you are focusing on upskilling?
Right. At Build Fast today, if I were to say what we do in one line, I would say we are a one-stop shop for generative AI. So we primarily run courses on AI, which are typically around 4 to 8 weeks long. And along with that, we also do corporate consulting and training. So if there is anyone here today who wants to do anything with generative AI, we have some service for that. So currently, our business is spread across, let's say, 30-40% courses, and 60-70% consulting, and remaining trainings and other things.
So you are only doing it on a digital platform, or you also kind of provide trainings like for corporates, for organizations, for startup? I saw one of your posts about some Gen AI Launchpad, or
Right.
kind of an program. Is it for individual, or is it for startups, organizations?
So that's a interesting story, because when I quit my job, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So every Saturday, I just used to schedule an event with community, and like I started doing some online workshops. Then I felt, okay, generative AI can be learnt through a lot of structure. So that is when I started this program called Generative AI Launchpad. So which is like a course that will help anyone go from 0 to 1 in AI. And initially I thought I launched it for developers, but at the end of the day, I saw a lot of executives, tech leaders, VCs, other founders join the course. So this course is primarily focused towards non-tech people without compromising on the technicality part.
Okay, it makes sense. Because I have seen that, like in today, a lot of people are learning AI with the help of AI tools itself. Like they go on ChatGPT, they go on Notebook LM, or they go
Right.
on Gemini, etc. Right, and they learn from there. I think it's easier for people who come from a tech background, but for non-technical people, I think there is still a lot of confusion, or it's really overwhelming for them, because there are too many jargons out there.
Right.
I really
Right.
don't know, right? And I think you have trained more than, I mean, I don't know the exact number, but thousands of people would have
Right.
trained, of
Right.
course,
Right.
right? And AI is not a new technology, as I'll say. I mean, it has evolved. The
Right.
terminologies have been changing continuously, right? For people who are like, let's say, switching their career from one domain to, like, let's say, AI, or who's someone who is starting their career, what is the real struggle when it comes to mastering this skill?
Right. Maybe I'll give maybe 2-3 layer answer to that. First sentence, I will say that generative AI is the most accessible technology ever invented, because you don't have to be a data scientist or a researcher to use AI. As long as you know the right tool and right prompt, you can easily get started. That is one thing. And now let us talk about the struggle part. So let's say we keep using the word AI every day, but AI is a very limiting word, because let's say when you look at AI, there are a lot of things. There are AI agents, there is fine tuning, there are RAG, vibe coding, audio, video, image models, and there are a lot of things. So when people say that they want to learn AI, they don't understand that AI in itself has a lot of different things.
Yep.
So for people who want to start learning AI, they don't know where to start. Should I learn agents? Should I learn this? Should I learn that? So there is a lot of confusion even to start with. So that is the primary struggle that people face.
Okay, that makes sense. Because there are too many educators out there, right? If you open, like, let's say, when I open Instagram, I see too many ads. Ads are like keep on coming. Everybody is teaching AI today, and when we say AI education, I really feel that a lot of people are taking advantages of this fast-moving space. According to you, what is that broken thing when it comes to AI education? Is it content? Like, let's say you talk about the curriculums, the content that people use to teach. Is it the mindset of the learners and also the tutors or the educators, and also the incentive, what they're gonna get, out of this entire, like, let's say, the training programs or whatever programs they go through. So I want to know a bit more on content, like what kind of content, like do you recommend some content? What is the right structure of a curriculum, and what kind of mindset people should have when they want to learn this, and also what are some of the incentives that you see?
So when we primarily look at, as of today, you open any app and there is a person telling you that there is a free AI workshop that you can join and so on. So one thing that we need to understand is, traditionally many education companies run in losses, right? So they spend too much on marketing and they are not profitable. But now they are seeing generative AI. For generative AI, there is no defined set of customer, right? A student is a customer, a person with 15 years of experience is a customer, someone with 5 years of experience is also there. So education companies are seeing a very large space in terms of expanding their audience, and they are coming up with, let's say, new courses, new workshops and so on. In a way, it is not wrong, because let's say if many people are attending workshops, so let's say a person who only used to use ChatGPT will attend those sessions and will probably know about 2-3 extra tools, so which is a good thing overall. But that is not enough. Let's say if the same person wants to establish a career in AI or wants to build a company or anything around AI, it is not sufficient. So again, as such, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing that people are getting to know, but again, they are not really the people who can coach people to go to next level, is what I feel.
Yep, that makes sense. Okay, so in 2022 and 23, we saw all the hype about language models. Language model is still the backbone of whatever we have been doing, because they have the reasoning capabilities, right? And 24, 25, we saw the rise in RAGs and the agents. We started talking about more autonomous agents. And we saw the rise in SLMs. And now we are seeing the rise in vibe coding and new AI tools and frameworks coming up. And skills have been changing frequently, right? If you look at in this Gen AI space, what are the skills that you think are really important in 2026, which was probably not that, like required couple of years back? So I want to know the fundamentals of skills people should have, like, because this will keep on changing. In future we might see synthetic intelligence coming up. People have been talking about it, and a lot of new, like we recently saw Claudebot, how it created a hype again. The hype cycle is again back. So I want to know the fundamental skill sets people should have.
Right. So what I feel is, skill in particular is not going to go obsolete. But when I look at any skill, let's say you can be a coder, you could be a product manager, you could be any other thing. So any skill, I see it in two parts. So any skill involves two parts. So one is the thinking part, and the second is the doing part. So as of today, AI can do thinking as well as doing, right? So, but most people, let's say for example, if I want to build a website, I can just go to, let's say, many chatbots today and just ask, give me a website to do this. So AI is doing both thinking as well as doing part. So here what happens is, you really lose autonomy on, let's say, what AI is building. You don't really know, or you don't really own anything there. So what I feel is, let's say whatever skill you are in, it will not go obsolete, but the idea is, thinking part is something that you should always own. So let's say if I want to build a website, instead of I'm not suggesting don't use AI. Use AI for sure, but thinking part is something that you should own. Again, you use ChatGPT to think better. You write a proper PRD for that, and then let AI do 90% or 100% of things. But thinking should always be with you. Like 50 to 70% of thinking, if you own it, I think you will be very good at using these AI tools, and you will probably become a 10x of whatever job you're doing. 10x developer, 10x product manager will happen when you own the thinking and offset doing to AI.
So it's the same thing, like over teaching tools and under teaching thinking.
Yeah, so I think there is a lot of focus today on teaching a tool. Okay, this is a tool and this is a prompt. So even in our sessions where we conducted for hundreds of people, so let's say I am teaching a tool, let's say maybe a deep research tool. I'm just I'm running a prompt and I'm then explaining, okay, this is how the tool works. And I see tens of people commenting on the chat saying, tell me the prompt, tell me the prompt, tell me the prompt. Right. So the thing is, here I'm trying to teach them fishing where they're just asking me for one fish at a time. So here most people need to think that, okay, learning a tool involves understanding the superficial level for sure. But if you really want to make use of that tool and change your productivity level, or maybe really contribute to whatever you're doing, you need to understand how those tools work. So don't just focus on don't ever believe an article which says these are the 100 prompts that will change your life. So that's not going to change. So learn the tools and then you can use them better.
Yep, that makes sense. See, I do have audiences in rural areas of our country, okay, and also globally, a lot of people who watch my videos from, like, let's say Africa and a lot of remote areas. And I think that's the power of this tech, that anybody who has a laptop and an internet connection, they can really do wonders, right? Because nowadays models are so accessible and the frameworks are so powerful that you can build anything you want actually. And that's the beauty of, I see, AI when you compare that with other tech, like let's say quantum, for example, because it's not going mainstream because of all the hardware and infrastructure issues. But that's not the same with, like, let's say AI, because it's really accessible. Someone who is watching this from, like, let's say from Bihar or UP or from any other states in India, and who is just coming out of a college, where should they start, in their early journey of learning these skills?
So for that, what I will add is, many people, one addition that I will say is, many people come to us and say that, oh, I have already lost the AI train, because they feel that they are already late to the party. So they are not late to the party. Given, let's say, talk about internet was introduced in let's say 90s. And then for it to become mainstream, let's say 10 years happened, and people who invented companies, let's say Amazons and Googles of the world, started around that time, and they probably started 3-4 years after internet. So the thing is, we are at a very right and very fertile period where we are seeing AI to mature to a certain point, right? So 2 years ago, no one understood what was happening. So this is the time where we are seeing a very huge fertile ground in terms of there is opportunity in building products, there is opportunity in building solutions, consulting, and everything. For someone who is watching these videos from remote places, or maybe with not a lot of resources, as of today, as long as you can have a phone, so you can learn anything. So whatever is your interest, if coding is your interest, try building websites, build fastly, show it to people. Let's say if product management is what you like, try to build products, build your portfolio, use AI to understand let's say what your goals are, then try to build something. And again, effort will always count, right? So irrespective of with AI or without AI, as long as you're ready to put effort, use AI and upskill in whatever you want to do.
I agree. I think I have a very similar philosophy when it comes to backing up the statement, saying take your time, okay, whatever you are learning. You don't have to kind of, like, let's say, see your friends and start, believing the FOMO that, okay, you have missed the AI train or AI bus, whatever. Because I think that's a reality. When I meet with people, they say, okay, everybody's doing agents. I don't know how to make an API call to an SDK. It's like using an SDK, right? And I think, and I always tell this, and just take a moment to tell all of those people who are watching this, right? Take your time. I mean, FOMO is okay. People will always have that FOMO that, okay, I'm not doing enough. I mean, you just have to start. if you have a roadmap, or if you say, even if you don't have a roadmap, it's okay. Like most of the innovative people, they never had a roadmap. Okay, you just, if you know what you have to do, if you have the clarity, just keep doing it. One day you will get it. Okay, that's how I see it.
I will add to it, even if you don't have clarity, just to get that clarity, you have to work hard.
Yes.
So it will take some time. So even when I quit my job, it took around 8 months, 9 months of pure exploration without doing
Yep.
anything, just to figure out what I wanted to do. So give that time, give that effort, I think things will work out at the end.
Exactly. I mean, if you go on that path, things will get clear, over a period of time.
Yeah, it's like taking a car and you just drive different roads, you will eventually figure out the road that you want to travel. But if
Yep.
you are sitting here and just thinking about where you want to go, it will really not take you anywhere.
Yep, makes sense. So, one of the most important question that I was like, when I was preparing the questions, right, I was thinking about, because you also are now building ventures, you have seen the corporate world as well. I have done a lot of mistakes in my life when I was like working in my previous ventures, and that's where they were not having the right success that they deserved probably at that point of time as well. A lot of AI builders, they also keep on making mistakes. Like they keep on repeating the same mistakes again and again. What are some of the mistakes that you like to highlight, or will probably share your insights on the mistakes people should not do when they want to build probably a product, or they want to build anything in general in AI?
Right. So I think the philosophy of building products will remain the same with or without AI. So the thing is, just because you can build a product in 5 minutes does not mean that someone is going to buy it, right? So your proper, let's say, you need to follow the process of identifying the pain point, validating the problem, then iterating on a solution. So you have to follow that process. What AI does in this situation is it will help you accelerate this process. It will help you discover something quicker. It will help you iterate quicker. But it doesn't mean, so many people I have seen personally also, they get a subscription for something like Lovable or something. They just type their random idea and they deploy it and they feel like, okay, I have done my startup. So, but the basic steps of creating a product, validating the problem, finding your customers, they still remain the same. But with AI, you can do it faster. So that's the only difference.
Yep, makes sense. Yeah, I always say that building a successful venture is beyond having a good idea or a product. Like most of the time, it doesn't even matter. So if you look at, I'll give you a very probably a stupid example, but let's look at Ilya Sutskever, right? He left OpenAI and he started Safe Superintelligence. He don't have even have a good website. I mean, if you look at it, just a broken HTML page.
Right.
Okay, and the company's valuation is still more than $1 billion.
Right.
Okay, so I think
it's probably 10 billion now.
Of course. I mean, I'm talking about few months back, right? I mean, when you want to build a venture, it's beyond having a product. I mean, because I have raised fund, and raising fund is again an art, right? When you go to the top of the VCs, they look at the founder's background, the team structure. They look at what kind of distribution channels you have, and they look at a lot of other things beyond the product.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Because a lot of people had the best of the product, but they could not make it.
Right.
So I think that's also an important thing. Okay. And today it's easy to build products, to be very honest. Okay. It's very easy to build. And I think product managers are the best of the guys today. They have the best of the advantages because they understand, okay, on both sides. And now they have AI to kind of do the things. But okay, you like open source?
Yeah, I will say that open source is the way forward, but my opinion on open source for a general customer like you or me, I have gone through a lot of different phases in that way.
So because I am an open source advocate. Like I really do believe that open source is what push this community further, or this entire AI ecosystem further. Because otherwise, if you look at an overall picture, there are only few companies who are like taking control. Okay, that cycle that we see, the companies like OpenAI, Google, Anthropic, Nvidia, XAI, and there are a few more. Like let's say, they are kind of everything is revolving around them. Okay, and for people like say somebody sitting in a very remote area, they can go on Hugging Face, take a model, build a chatbot, and start like showing their capabilities. Probably they cannot afford the same thing with the like let's say using APIs. I agree that using closed source models through APIs are also very cheap, or probably I'll say more affordable. But I want to understand from you that, because you also said that for customers or people like us, there are some trade-offs. I want to understand open source versus closed source when it comes to AI, and when should people go for open source, and when should they kind of stick to, like, let's say, closed source. Just to add my opinion on that, I think when you're building proof of concept faster, you want to show something to your client, you can just go take an API and build it and show it to them and just say, we have that. Okay.
Right.
When you want to take it to kind of, let's say, in a very regulatory industry, or very where you have a need of something to run it on-prem, or you want to kind of make sure the data is not getting out, maybe then you look at open source.
Right, right.
Is there anything else you want to highlight, or is the same thing?
No. So what I would want to highlight in this open source versus closed source debate is that how the industry has changed in the last 2-3 years. So let's say 2023 and 2024 were primarily the year where people were heavily reliant on chatbots, right? So the best use case people were doing was of RAG or something. So now in 2025, or at least in the last 6 months, we have seen a transition towards agents. So every chatbot is becoming an agent. They are connecting it to internet, they are connecting it to hundreds of different tools. So the use cases with chatbots are very limited, whereas we are moving into an agentic future. So if small models that we can download on our system and use it, you can't really run complicated agents on that. So you will only be limited to, let's say, small chatbots.
A lot of people will not like that statement, what we just made.
But how are you going to download a small, let's say, 3 billion parameter model and make 100 tool calls with it?
Yeah.
So let's say as of today, if let's say I have Claude Code on my system, I can connect it to 100 MCPs and I can do all of my work. I can just give it a command, I can go out for a coffee and come back and see my work is done. So, and again, like as of today, open source models, if you see, there are only 4 main players: Moonshot AI, ZAI, DeepSeek, and Gwen by Alibaba. All are Chinese models, and all their models, let's say the recent Kimi K 2.5 model, it's an excellent model. It's probably better than Claude Opus 4.5 in ways. But if I want to run that model, I have to have it's a trillion parameter model. I need to have an infrastructure worth 1 crore rupees at my home to run it. Or let's say even if I rent, it will set me back around 4 to 5 lakhs a month. So only companies or corporations with that kind of money can afford open source, in my opinion, because again, you will be stuck with simple chatbots. And I'm not discounting the use of open source, because for some use cases like simple document summarization or maybe journaling or something, I see the use case for it. But as of today, agentic applications have a lot more to offer than chatbots. But we will see. Like I think we are
correct. A very valid point. So I will not contradict that statement, because I am an advocate for open source, but a lot of people will probably not like that statement. So I was like talking to, and probably you don't even care, I mean, it's okay. So I was talking to someone who is like, they're really focusing on SLMs, right? And they were saying that people are probably not aware how to build agentic workflows when they are using SLMs. So she started explaining me about query decomposition. Let's say, how do you make 100 tool calls, for your example, right? So 100 tool calls, not a single generic prompt, right? There has to be engineering behind how do you build such systems. So you decompose the query for subatomicity or atomicity, and you look at which tool to make a call, what SLMs to use, and so on and so forth, like vision for voice or for language, etc., etc. So we'll not go in that. I think somehow I agree on what you said. I mean,
I still say that I agree that given how powerful of technology AI is today, it has to be open source. It has to be made available to people, and we can't let 3-4 companies control it. But I'm talking about the ground reality.
Makes
for
sense.
most of 99.99% of people, it does not make sense. And even for the people, even for corporations we are seeing who can afford that kind of infrastructure, they are hesitant to use Chinese models. And because they don't even understand, a model at the end of the day is series of numbers. So it's not like your model data is being sent to China.
No, I mean, sovereign model. See, the data localization, model localization things, we'll talk about it in a bit. And makes sense. I think it's completely depends on use cases, as you rightly said. Like for document summarization, it's okay. For building a simple RAG, it's okay. For translating something, it's fine. But for like, let's say, generating captions and all those are okay. But when you go into complicated agent workflows, then I also doubt that you can rely on it. And I was surprised that there were papers out. So SLMs are the future of AI agents. SLMs are the future of agentic
I used to
AI.
teach
Those papers,
last year at 2024 end, or maybe in the mid of 2024. I used to teach about why Apple Intelligence is going to become a very big thing. Meta released Llama models that are optimized for mobile phones. So
Yep.
I thought even so the thing is, whatever opinions that I'm telling are true for today. Maybe if you ask me
Absolutely.
tomorrow, it might be different, given how fast AI is
Yep.
changing. Yeah.
Makes sense. Now we'll come back to that same topic: India, US, China, right? I mean, of course, the United States, they are the leading players. I think they are still the leading players. I mean, if from China, you will see more open source, things happening. Like you talked about, Alibaba is doing a lot of good things with QN models, and DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah.
And people say DeepSeek is a hobby project. It was never a hobby project. I mean, that's the thing. People say anything they want to say, right? Because the internet is for scammers, I suppose, nowadays. I mean, but coming back to it, like, where do you see India? So we have been mostly seen as a cost center, right? Offshore development center. We used to call it ODCs previously, right? If you go 10 years back, most of the services company, they used to form ODCs. Client used to say, okay, we have affordable labors in India, like less hourly rates. From there to till today, now we are seeing the GCC coming up. Where do you see the we have the benefits when it comes to AI in India? Okay, when you compare that with China and US, and I will tell you, I'll re-quote Aswini. Okay, he was in Davos recently. He was saying that our advantage is not the LLMs. Like, AI does not rely to LLMs, and he re-quoted Jensen Huang, NVIDIA CEO, about 5-layer cake of AI, energy, infrastructure, data, models, so on and so forth. He was saying that our benefit is probably to use the talent that we have and take these agents, models, whatever, and implement it for enterprises. So productionizing these applications within enterprises. I want to know your opinion or your perspective on where do we have the benefit or advantages, when it comes to this technology, AI.
So I will maybe take a step back and try to give a bigger picture. Bigger picture, I'll say India is very, very, very backward in terms of AI. So you look at US and China, they are doing enormous amount of model outputs, and you see everything is happening there. And again, we can afford to lose any race but AI. Because I'll give you one example, right? So you might know about the lava models.
Yeah.
So one of the first vision models, where you could upload an image and ask a question. So I have this habit: whenever there is a new model, I try to build an app with this.
Same.
So yeah.
I do it for YouTube.
Yeah, I used to follow your videos as well. So the thing is, with that model, I built this application where you upload a photo of a food and it will give you a recipe. So I uploaded an image of, once the app is complete, I uploaded an image of burger and it gave me recipe of burger. Nice. I uploaded picture of pasta, it gave me recipe, very nice. I uploaded picture of gulab jamun and it says, sorry, I don't recognize this, right? Because lava model was the best open source vision model during that time. But again, that model was primarily trained on English and China, right? So they don't have any incentive to train it on Indian languages or Indian data for that matter. So what happens is, let's say earlier people used to say, if you want the world to forget about a particular race or religion, erase it from history books. So currently, if you want world to forget about certain race or religion, you erase it from training data, right? So and one more point I want to add is, let's say India or US or China are broadly they only speak one language, right? English and Mandarin. But in India, for every 200 kilometers, the language changes, the dialect changes. So actually, India should be doing 200 times more work in AI than US and China. But we are not even doing 1 by 200 time of what they are doing. So that will, again, people are not seeing the effects of this right now, but if we don't change very soon, so we will be talking to models that don't even understand our context going forward. It might be a very big risk. So we should heavily invest in building our own models, and there is no, and again, if the LLM train goes away, it's still fine, but the world models are coming. The Genie model from Google is
Yep,
coming,
yep,
but
yep.
how much of the world is close to our culture, right?
Yes.
So we need to start focusing on building strong data sets and research effort. There is no discount on that.
Yep. Very good point. Loved it. And I don't think we are focusing it after whatever has been said in Davos. Because, I mean, that was good, man. I didn't think about it lately. I think you were right. I mean, I was also thinking about, okay, we probably don't have to look at creating our own models, the languages that we do have. Maybe we have to create proprietary data sets, or maybe creating data sets in different languages in India. I think there was a good model, families of model called Naurasa. That was like a couple of years back.
Right.
Again, there's a guy who's part of our community, Hyderabad. He's from Hyderabad. Ramsri.
Yeah.
So he also played a good role. We recently met in a round table. Okay, but makes sense. I think anybody who is watching it probably should take it seriously. Okay. Okay. So how will we solve it? So let's say we want to do the same. Like, do you think community plays a role, or do you think it has to start from academia? Look at the research that is happening in universities in China or universities in the US, and you compare that with our universities. Okay, and you come from IITs, right? You know the academics better than probably a lot of people out there.
Right.
Who plays the role here? Is it community, because you also work with a lot of communities, and also the academia? Tell us how will it work now?
So one thing that let's say Sam Altman in one of the interviews maybe 1-2 years ago, he said India shouldn't even try to build models because it's out of their reach.
Yeah.
But maybe few months into his statement, DeepSeek released a model which trained a model in 5 million. Again, the actual cost, let's say it's 50 million, right? Let's say it's 10 million, 50 million, whatever. So companies have time and again proved that you don't need billions, tens of billions of dollars to train the models.
Absolutely.
So I think $10 million, I think at least 1,000 companies in India can afford spending $10 million. So the thing is, again, people complain that, okay, we don't have good data sets. But what we can do for that is to compensate with our human capital. So maybe one idea that I want to give to communities, and maybe especially student communities, is that from every state, right? Let's say we have 50 languages, mainly spoken languages. From every state, let us, let's say, take a group of 100, 200 students. Give them internships, train them on how to create data, train them to become a good researcher. Then create, so the change won't happen with one government or one, let's say, company, but a grassroots level movement. Again, we have to do 200 times more work than what US and China are doing, because we are very vast as a culture, right? So we need to start with students, maybe 100, 200 students in every state, which is totally doable, right? Maybe get ambassadors from there, train them in data, how to collect data, how to create great data sets, train few of them in becoming researchers. And India, through India AI mission, is allocating thousands of crores. So have some budget for them as well. And I think we can do something. I think we didn't lose anything till now. But if we don't wake up right away and start building initiatives around this, I think we will be the biggest losers when we could capitalize on this.
Makes sense. Exactly, similar vision. So I started an initiative called AI Gram Sala. I think I briefly talked about it in our last meeting, right? When we go to rural areas, like we work with schools, we do boot camps. Most of the time we only talk about data. We don't even go to like, let's say, AI. And we have been collecting good enough data. Like we are collecting data mostly in healthcare industry for very niche and specialized diseases and disorders or whatever.
Right.
And that's what my vision is. I'm working with some of the top organizations, NGOs, not-for-profit organizations, to kind of collaborate and see how do we create the literacy when it comes to AI. Right, and I see a big digital divide when it comes to India. If we go to rural areas, they don't even know the word ChatGPT. They have never heard of it, to be very honest. So I think that's really important. I am someone who never make any statement about government. It has backfired. So I have seen in my previous ventures. But yeah, we'll move to the next section. We'll talk about jobs. Okay, briefly. I see a lot of jobs have been have become obsolete. New roles have also been, kind of come out of, have come out in last couple of years. What do you think about the statement people are saying that AI will take over humans, AI will take a lot of jobs, entry level jobs, a lot of jobs where automation can play a role? What's your views on that?
I think there is no debate that AI will take away jobs, and like I'll give you maybe 2-3 examples.
Take a step back. Will AI take over humans? I mean, in not all magnitude. I mean, in
Right.
some capacity. Do you think that?
I think that's a very subjective question, because I think I don't know. Like maybe I'll say that there are a lot of changes that are going to. So maybe I'll just to answer this question, let me tell you that let's say when industrialization happened, when machines were introduced, so a lot of workers went on a strike saying that okay, if machines will do the job, what will we do, right? But at that time, the entire world didn't industrialize overnight. So it took maybe 50 years for the big factories to be established, people to be trained, and then in that 50 years, people went into other jobs, right? Even when computers came, again, it took 20 years probably for that penetration to happen. But AI, as of today, if you have this amazing Claude model releasing tonight, it can be served to 100 million people tomorrow.
Absolutely.
So the thing is, we are fundamentally, we as a humanity has never seen this sort of change.
Yep.
Because we have seen many changes: internet revolution, computer revolution, maybe industrial revolution, and many other things. But we had ample time to figure out things. But with AI, we don't have that option. The infrastructure that we need is a laptop and internet that we already have. So this model, again, big companies are buying up data centers by huge, so that capacity is being built. But again, to answer your question whether humanity will go back or not, because we all don't know, because this is a situation that the world has never seen before, and what will happen is something that we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I think a very valid point. So I was looking at one of the clips from an interview where Narayan Murthy sir was saying that in 90s there were program generators, and a lot of people who were writing code that time, they were saying that okay, now the program generators have come out, it will take our jobs, but they were still using it, like they were still writing code. I'm talking about 1990s.
Right,
okay.
right.
But if you look at the magnitude of this technology, AI, it's not program generators. AI is not a program generator.
Right.
AI is more powerful than a lot of other technologies out there. People have to take it seriously. They think, okay, Claude model, let's say Claude 4.5, right? Let's say the model is out there. It can never write code like human. I think AI is writing better code than human for sure.
Of course.
Okay, 100% out. If you know how to get a PRD, how to prompt it, or what kind of work you have to get from an AI, I think it's writing better programs. But a lot of people, when I talk to HDEs, they don't believe that. They say no, they're still not writing. Okay, so, and these are topics we'll discuss probably, maybe not here today. The other discussions we'll have it in future, because the problem with a lot of developers who are using AI to write code in their SDLC or STLC lifecycle, because they measure the productivity gain in a wrong way. Okay, let's say organizations are saying that we have X% of productivity gain. That is wrong. I mean, you generated code, now you have to refactor code, you have to make sure that code is error free. It takes a lot of time after you generate the code. Okay, so you use tools like, let's say SonarQube, you go look at the velocity, look at the complexity, look at the quality of code, and it takes like, let's say, n number of hours, and it took 40 minutes to generate the code.
Right.
If you look at that hours, it overpowers the time that AI has used to generate the code. So how people calculate productivity gain is also difficult. Okay, so just to tell you, I mean, it might be a bit complex for people to understand, because I was working with a lot of innovation teams where we used to generate code, where we were doing legacy modernization, COBOL to Java, COBOL to, or ABAP to Python, so on and so forth. So I think that's why people have to take it seriously. I think AI is writing better code, and they will keep on writing better code for sure. If you look at Cursor Winds of Anti-Gravity, something better will come up in next 1 year. Okay, that will have better context, that will have better understanding. But yeah, moving forward, right? Are founders overusing AI? I see that. Like, let's say, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Every day I'm saying, people are saying I'm running 5 companies. All they have is a website built by Cursor.
Right.
Or Lovable or whatever. What's your views on that? I think that's the one aspect of the question. The other aspect is that for everything people are using generative models. Like let's say if you want to do sentiment analytics, there's a food review.
Right.
People are saying, okay, let's make an API call to OpenAI models. What do you think about these two aspects of this question?
So value is there is no such thing called overusing AI, according to me, because I talk to AI probably 7 hours a day, right? But the problem comes when you prioritize wrong things. So let's say, for example, we were working with a very big food tech company, and like we were doing a consulting with them, and they came up with some use cases saying that, Satvik, we want you to develop a chatbot on our sales. Okay, we can do that. Then they talked about, okay, we have a lot of photos of let's say our restaurants coming in every day. Can you do the quality check on that? Okay, I can do that. So then they come up with the next problem statement saying that currently the delivery time is 25 minutes, but let's say but it's actually 15 minutes. You use ChatGPT and decrease it, because people don't understand that the delivery estimation is not a generative AI or LLM problem. So as you mentioned about sentiment analysis, there are cheaper, far more reliable solutions that are available. So the problem comes not by overusing, but by using generative AI for wrong things at wrong time. Right? It's a promising solution, but that does not mean that you can use it anywhere and everywhere. And one mindset that I have seen with founders or CXOs is that they feel like AI is a magic wand, right? So AI laga do. Any problem they have in their company. So because again, AI is extremely capable, it can do 100 things, but generally there is this mindset ki hum AI laga denge. So it doesn't work like that. So as long as you assess your problem and weigh against what are the currently available solutions and use a right tool for the right war, that is what I will say. As long as you are doing that, there is no such thing called overusing.
Yep. See, I mean, startups mein still okay, startup mein chal jata hai, but let's say when you're working with enterprises, right? Nowadays, bigger organizations, they have their sustainability goals. If you look at their chief sustainability officers, they go on public forums and they gaga about, okay, we are going carbon neutral in next 2 years, 3 years. I believe see, I mean, a lot of organizations, they don't even know how to look at the scopes. So there are different scopes, scope 1, 2, scope 3, when you calculate carbon emissions within an organization. Scope 1 is easier to calculate because that remains within your organization. Scope 2, 3 are really difficult. So let's say Satvik works for an organization. Okay, he's using a company's laptop and he started working with Hugging Face, downloading model, working, using home's electricity, running models. Very difficult to calculate the carbon, right? And why I'm telling you this statement is when we used to work with corporates, the chief sustainability officer used to tell us that use less AI because it really generates huge emissions. Because if you have to calculate the emissions, you have to go back to the data centers. You have to go downstream in the hierarchy.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And that's why I brought up the sentiment analytics example, because we were doing the same thing. Okay. And we had a cap of not having more emissions than a particular cap.
So I'll give you a counter example to that. Did you use suno.com?
Yeah.
So with Suno, for people who have not used, you go to suno.com, you type a single line on what song you want, and within 1 minute or maybe within 10-15 seconds, AI will give you a 4-minute song just in 10 seconds, right? So now think about to create, and again, like nothing against musicians, I'm just talking about to counter the point that you have mentioned. So to create a 4-minute song, traditionally how much time would it have taken? Someone had to rent an entire studio.
Yep.
A musician had to take his car and come. Let's say a singer has to come. There has to be 2-3 other people to serve them. And again, we are taking a podcast here, and let's say there are a few cameras here. There are 3-4 people behind the camera. Who are you? Like when you are creating a song, let's say you are not calculating all the emissions that are coming.
I get where you are going. So that's why I'm talking about scopes. When you make an API call to OpenAI models, you have to calculate the emission that OpenAI is also generating at their data centers. If you bring it in your organization, that becomes more than somebody is driving a car and coming to office.
You are not factoring in the amount of, let's say, you said you should not count productivity that way, but again, like
both are different things, productivity and calculating carbon emissions.
But again, like it's very difficult, right? So let's
say, absolutely.
The thing is, if I am maybe going back to the song example, maybe to generate that 4-minute song, I'm using let's say 30 seconds of H100, right?
Yep.
So now calculate how much energy of carbon would that emit. Any day I can say that the 10 seconds of H100 GPU will give less emissions than 4 people traveling an entire studio with electricity and so on. But again, like there might be some
subjective.
cases, again there might be some cases where you could just go to a internet website, read about it and summarize, but when you press ChatGPT, it's going to hundreds of websites, searching it, making 1,000 tool calls, and again this is inefficient. But again, if we want to see it, AI as a technology is not very mature yet that you start calculating carbon emissions, in my opinion. But again, it's not a sustainable it's an technology that consumes a lot of energy, that I'm not denying. But I have this hunch that over time, once this dust settles down, once people start using in daily life, it will be far more carbon effective than what
absolutely. The only problem here is that damages should be reversible.
Right.
If we don't have, let's say we have been keep on training models and having those large data centers coming out, okay, there will be time that damages will become irreversible. So that's my only concern. Because there was a time I was like working with sustainability teams very closely. We used to really understand like how it really works and so on and so forth. And we used to work with the researchers out there in universities who used to forecast for future. I mean, we're already in a very bad phase when it comes to climate change, if you look at that. But we'll not go into, I mean, that's not the podcast today for that. Have you, I am sure that you would have seen Coffee with Karan, so they play a rapid fire round.
Oh, yeah.
We'll also do that. Without rapid fire, people will probably not even watch this.
Right.
Okay, we'll take a bite out of it and we'll post it separately that, okay, there's the rapid fire, right? Makes sense. Rapido AI. No, we are not promoting them. Okay, ready for it?
Yeah.
Okay. One AI tool you use daily.
Claude, I use it.
Not Claude bot, the Claude.
Claude Code, Claude, Anthropic's Claude.
Okay. One AI tool that's overrated.
I think it's Copilot, just because every company has access to Microsoft.
Closed source AI, open source AI, or both?
Both, but again, for agents, I would go for closed source. But for
Open AI or Hugging Face, who has played a better role in inspiring the AI ecosystem?
I think no company has made more impact than OpenAI because they released ChatGPT. If ChatGPT was never released, I would not have quit my job.
India's biggest AI opportunity?
We are barely getting started.
One book everyone in AI should read.
There is this book called The Brain by David Eagleman. So I read that book many years ago.
One AI leader you look up to?
A couple of them actually. So I listen to a lot of podcasts of this person called Imad Mostaq. He's the ex-founder of Stability AI. He talks very well. And also Anthropic CEOs write. He writes very nice blogs.
Build fast with AI or build right with
AI? I think build fast with AI while also doing the right thing. Or
I'll tell you. Build in the right way, but build fast with AI.
Build in right with build fast.
Favorite orchestration framework for building agents? Agno. Okay. Wow, nice. Okay. What does AI education look like in next couple of years? The reason I ask you because you teach, you're also really creating an impact into AI literacy or upskilling.
So this is basically an AI agent that can create explainer videos with motion graphics just with a single prompt. And I never was worried about my job as an educator because if there is a better tool, I have more things to teach. But this was the time where it can create entire tutor-led videos from scratch. So going forward, tools are getting better. Remotion is an old library, which is a React library where you can create videos programmatically.
No, when you talked about Remotion, we met last night, right? Go ahead.
So basically, Remotion is an old library, which is a React library where you can create videos programmatically, but you still have to create components and write, let's say, code to create that video. But recently, there is a new thing called agent skills. If someone doesn't know, you should go to Google and type, or maybe go to ChatGPT and type what an agent skill is. So they have recently launched an agent skill that can create videos programmatically. So Claude Code or any cursor or any tool will directly connect to Remotion and it will create any length of video. So 4 or 5 minute motion graphics video in a matter of 1 to 2 minutes, right? So, and again, you think about the opportunities. If there was a graphic designer, he would have easily taken 1 week to do that, and it can be done within 2 minutes right now. So education as such will get more democratized, but how people are going to use those tools will matter a lot. And again, that is where we come into place to help them guide with right tools, right frameworks, to help them with how these tools understand, and also not only highlighting the strengths but also weaknesses and the dangers of this.
So I was not aware of remotion. Okay, by the way, he told me when we met last night. I went back to my office. I told my teammates, "Hey, look, okay, here is remotion. Do npx whatever, and build it." I told one of my teammates, and she was working on it. I saw she was installing. She was working with Claude. And thank you so much for telling us about remotion. We are going to use that for a lot of bytes and videos.
Right.
And I will recommend everyone to again have a look at remotion. It's really powerful, I suppose. A 20 years old who is watching this, what's your advice for him or her?
I will borrow this advice from what Demis Hassabis, Google DeepMind CEO said like in a recent interview. So currently what is happening is there are new tools coming in and day out, but there is not enough time for people to understand how differently these tools can be used, right? So people are releasing these powerful models. Before someone can understand full capabilities of these models, we are going to a next framework. So even very big labs, even companies like Google are not understanding the impact of their own models. So this creates a lot of white space. So for 20-year-olds, what you need to do is understand these tools with frameworks, try to build strong processes, and go to companies and say that I have built this agent workflow and I will help you automate this. So once you become very good at using these tools, I think maybe I'll just tell one more thing. So I recently met a CTO of a company that makes 1,200 crores of revenue every year. And
is it an Indian company?
Yeah, it's an Indian company. So their CTO was asking me, Satvik, how can we build this? So I automatically started saying, okay, we will build an AI agent that will connect to these tools, and then we will use some framework like this. And I started explaining. So 2-3 minutes into explanation, he stopped me. And the CTO asked me, Satvik, what is an agent, right? So, and the thing is, just because someone is a CTO, just because someone is has 15-20 years of experience, the knowledge of AI does not come to them in their dreams, right? For people, especially for young folks who are looking at this sector, it's your time to learn these and go forward and implement. And become very strong in these tools, and also please work on your soft skills, communication, how to talk to people, how to do all this, because you might have one thing that I also tell to my developers is, if you are only doing coding, then you are not valuable for me, because I can get a Claude Code subscription Claude Opus can work for 35 hours a week. Without breaks. So you can never be more valuable if you are only doing coding. So for 20-year-olds, understand these AI tools. That should be 50%, and 50% work on building your soft skills, because that is going to matter more than ever now.
So I have only one question, but I will add one more because now very interesting point. So I was talking to a kid in a school recently, and he asked me a very thought-provoking question. He said, okay, if we use more AI, okay, don't you think that our brain is getting dumb? Okay, over a period of time, right? Our the way we think, the way we reason, and we used to apply our logics when we were writing code or we were solving problems. Nowadays, whenever we get a problem, even for writing a good email, we go on ChatGPT and say, okay, write an email. I mean, that's probably a bad example, but let's say the question was like, is it affecting our brain? What's your view on that? So
there is a research paper which says that ChatGPT is making you dumber. So this is a research paper. I think the kid is as good as the researcher. He's going to do better in his life for sure. But again, like that goes.
I'll send him this clip.
Yeah, exactly. Please. So it goes back to same thinking, right? So AI can also be used to improve your IQ enormously, and it can also be used to make you dumb. And goes back to saying any task has two things, thinking and doing. So if you own thinking, then you own autonomy, you can collaboratively work with AI and build something amazing. If you're just being dumb and say, ki, hey, AI, build this website, hey, AI, do this automation, it will do something, it will seem like it is working, but you don't really own it. So if you want to use AI without getting dumber, never do thinking yourself,
Yep.
and let the AI do, which is still fine.
Makes sense. What are you personally excited now next about building something? You are having some personal projects or even at your organization?
So I am very passionate about learning. So we are launching this app called Unrot.
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 Okay.
So which is basically a micro learning app powered by AI. So that is already available on Play Store and iOS.
Nice.
So you can download and use it. So that is what I'm excited about. And along with that, again, with everything that we are doing at Build Fast with AI, we are all about democratizing knowledge to everyone. And I honestly don't know what will happen tomorrow. So at least what I can tell is I'm enjoying a lot today. So every day morning I wake up and I see a new model coming in, and I can just sit with that model, type random prompts, and then make videos on it, and then do everything that I'm doing. So personally, it's a very exciting time to be alive, and especially if you are deep into the AI zone. And I think there is no better place to be. So that way, I'm very thankful and grateful that with whatever I have. So excited for the future.
When I started my YouTube channel 3 years back, right, I was doing exactly same. I used to wake up in the morning, and I had I was part of a lot of Telegram groups. I used to follow subreddits. I used to follow Hacker News and a lot of other things, and see ki aaj kya aaya hai, and whatever new laptop. No, implement, record, and it was fun. But nowadays the focus is on something else, so I have slow down a bit on videos content. But yeah, open mic for next couple of minutes. You want to say something to whoever is watching this?
Yeah, I think whatever suggestions I had, I already maybe said it throughout the session. But maybe one point I think we should touch upon is that there is a lot of talk today about AI bubble. Right? There is a lot of talk about AI bubble and AI not improving or many other things. So one thing that I will tell, and also for AI skeptics. So some people still don't believe that AI can do something. So the thing is, don't focus on all those things. AI bubble might burst, might not burst, and again there will be some correction that we might see. But let's say even if AI bubble were to burst tomorrow, the model will still be as powerful as it is today. So even tomorrow it will still become better, because big companies, I think just the hyperscalers are spending 50 lakh crores into this. So it will only become better tomorrow. Bubbles and everything are economic course corrections. Don't get into that.
Created by investors. The war itself.
Yeah. I think whoever is creating that doesn't matter. The models are powerful. They are going to get powerful tomorrow. In economy, in other things, we will see some huge changes, maybe some path-breaking changes. But you as an individual should focus on learning this technology, improve yourself and upskill yourself. That's all you need to know. Again, things will happen when they happen.
I did a live stream with a guy called Ritesh Patil. He was part of our community, and he made a very funny statement. He said, AI bubble will not burst, AI will burst you. I just recalled it. A very similar opinion. I think AI is not a new tech, as I said, right? It was coined in 1956 or something in the US, Dartmouth conference. People came out, they coined the term. It has evolved. We have seen summer, winters, so on and so forth, right? If you talk to leaders today, as you said, the CTO example, I will not, of course, will not name him, but a lot of CTOs that we also talk to, they think that AI is only 10 years old. Okay, after deep learning, 20, let's say 15 years old. 2011, AlexNet came out, whatever.
Or even less. They only think it's 2 years old.
2 years old. So I think Hugging Face CTO or somebody made this statement that LLM bubble will burst, AI bubble will not burst, because AI is not a new tech. LLM bubble in terms of, like, let's say, if you look at Gemini 3 versus GPT 5.2, it might not have a lot of revolutionary changes. Like on some benchmarks, Gemini 3 would have done better. Okay, so LLM bubble might burst. Like, let's say there will be a time that it will touch the ceiling stage. Like, probably it already has touched the ceiling stage. I don't know. I mean, it will improve a bit. Okay, because people say that, okay, we'll see AGI, we'll see this, we'll see that. We don't know when we'll see that. And I think AGI is not only about LLMs. LLMs will never take you to AGI, as we all know, right? I mean, Likun has been talking about it for so many years.
A point on that, for me, I already have AGI today. Because for me, the definition of AGI is
It's very subjective also. Yep.
I think I'll tell my perspective of AGI. So if I give a task to AI, if I go for a coffee and come back, my task has to be done. As of today, 70 to 80% of tasks that I do, maybe coding or maybe doing a number of maybe creating slides, creating lectures, or even with Remotion creating videos, right? And again, if you are rightly placed, if you know how to rightly use tools, irrespective of which job you are working on, 60 to 80% of your job can be automated like this. You give a task, and again, don't expect AI to do a task which is not given. So as of today, I can give a task, go for a coffee and come back, and it is done for me. So I think AGI is already there, and again, it might not push us through
you might
another
get
level of superhuman
you might
intelligence.
get a lot of scrutiny on these statements because a lot of people, they probably will not like these statements.
So let's say, maybe think about this. Let's say 4 years ago, if someone told you, what if you could just take a screenshot of an app and it is going to write 50,000 lines of code. And if someone told you 4 years back, with one screenshot, or maybe with Kimi K2 model, they have something called video vibe coding. So you can take a video of your website and upload it, and it is going to write 50,000, 100,000 lines of code to do it. And if someone told this definition, would you call it AGI at that time? You would have said yes. So today we are constantly pushing the goalpost of what AGI
definition of intelligence also. Let's say forget about the general intelligence. I'm saying definition of intelligence is also very subjective. I mean, we have not seen that it's defined. People use it in different ways, right? So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I see that in a different way. I see that's more from a capitalist world. People, I will not name them, who have a lot of money. They kind of try to take control. They say, again, it's the same economy thing that
I will name one interesting fact, right? Elon Musk.
I was probably talking about him.
Again, like what he's currently doing is they are setting up a very huge data center called Colossus, and he has probably invested few lakhs of crores into it. And by some estimates, his data center has a capability to do work. Let's say if we are counting the knowledge work, by next 2 years, this data center can alone do work of 100 million human beings. So a single person with a very big data center and huge resources is telling that I am going to deploy 10 crore AI agents that could do. And again, how efficient or something is another matter, but people are already, if people at that level are investing that kind of money,
exactly,
it's surely not a farce.
Yes.
There might be some truth to it. So,
and that's why they're also advocating about UBI, Universal Basic Income. If you go to states, Sam Altman, Elon Musk, they are huge advocates of it, because at the same data center, if someone who can do a job of 100 million people, it will take so many jobs, like to be very honest, right? And what will happen to people who are not getting any kind of an income, right? So it's all about, it's a money game. So I don't want to go into any kind of controversies over here, but it's okay, we'll see where we go. For me also, like, I don't even believe in such statements. I do my work, whatever work has been given, like whatever I'm trying to build to create an impact, that's it. If I use AI, use any other technology, this is fine. Okay. All right, I think we are done.